Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Azhar Khalili bin Khalid. Today I will present about the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cooperative and Consumerism, which we call MTDCC, and the law that related to this agency. First of all, I will explain the establishment of the Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperative and Consumerism. Firstly, the ministry was known as the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Before we call MTDCC, we call it MDTCA, which was established on 20th October 1990. At the beginning, it was assigned to govern TDA. This power is delegated by the previous and amended TDA 2011. The aim of this ministry is to promote good trade practice and to protect consumer rights. In 2009, it expanded its power and function to cover the license and cooperative sector, which enhanced its jurisdiction. Next, between September 2011 to September 2015, the Enforcement Division of MDTCC and JAKIM have filed 120 cases on abuse of halal logo. Out of these 120 cases, there are 64 cases are almost settled and the rest 56 pending jurisdiction. Outdate for now. There are 33 different acts under the preview of MDTCC, but it was very limited number of enforcement officers. They do not have enough time to carry out the enforcement of each act. Too many acts have weakened their enforcement power as well. Besides, the statistic report of enforcement activity implemented by MDTCC for 2010 until 2013 include food without the halal statute of pharmaceutical, cosmetic, cigarette and beer. Next, the role of Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperative and Consumerism in related to halal. First of all, MDTCC was empowered to give explanation to any expression and description to halal that are used in any food, goods and service. Second, MDTCC also been given the power in regulating the issuance of halal certification. Lastly, MDTCC have been given power from TDO 2011 to receive official complaint from business owner before necessary action is taken to stop any offence in the case of false trade description. The law that govern for MTDCC. There are three laws that are governed for MTDCC. First of all, Trade Description Act 2011. Malaysia is only country in the world that have governmental regulation to penalize the violation of false halal description on product and services. The Trade Description Act 2011 seems to provide a new feature for greater statutory protection and tighter enforcement against the false trade description, including false halal description. Second, trade description. Definition of halal order 2011. TDO give power to MDTCC to receive official complaint from business owner before necessary action is taken to stop any offence in the case of false trade description. And the last but not least, the trade description, certification and marking of halal order. The trade description, certification and marking of halal order has met its specific that the agency had as the competent authority mandate on this matter, including MTDCC, to certify any foods, goods or service halal in accordance with the orders. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Nurizal. I will explain the next agencies that are related to halal in Malaysia. So, the next agency that related to halal in Malaysia is JAKIM. So, the Historical study on the formation of JAKIM shows that JAKIM is formed in a unique way different from the setting up of other government agencies. So we know that JAKIM is a famous authority of one of the main authority in Malaysia that govern the law or everything that related to Muslim in Malaysia. So in 1981, JAKIM was established as the Islamic Center in Kuala Lumpur. 1st January 1997 becomes the formal historical remark on the formation of JAKIM. So next, the main function of JAKIM is to advise the Conference of Rulers, state governments or state Islamic religious affairs council on matters relating to Islamic legislation or administration or education. Next, what are the rules of JAKIM? So I have stated it on the previous slide that the rules of JAKIM are related to Muslims matter, and halal is one of the rules of JAKIM. So when the halal market becomes global, many attentions were directed towards joining this market. This has raised the call for standard rules and regulation as to ensure the effective governing all activities related to the halal or the activities that related to the halal market. Thus, in this situation, JAKIM's role and authority becomes even more important, especially in halal's matter. So, currently, JAKIM is the governing bodies that issues halal certificate for local and export markets, and also function as regulator of the halal affairs. So, what are the jurisdiction and prosecution that are governed under the JAKIM? So, the jurisdiction and prosecution that are governed under JAKIM, one of the jurisdiction and prosecution is Malaysia Protocol for Halal Meat and Poultry Productions 2011. This protocol prescribes practical guidelines for abattoir and poultry processing plant on slaughtering, standing method, further dressing process, storage and transportation of halal meat, poultry and their products, a building for the slaughter of animals for human food. And the next jurisdiction and prosecution is the guidelines of food, drinks and goods utilized by Muslim 1994. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afizuddin bin Safian, metric number 1191942. Today I want to present to you about Department of Veterinary Services in Malaysia. First of all, the establishment. The Department of Veterinary Malaysia (DVS) in Malaysia was established in 1988 as an agency to control exotic and domestic animal disease. Over the years, the structure and function of the organization have evolved to meet the growing demand for veterinary services. Number 2, the development of the industry is focused on the major commodities, namely beef, mutton, poultry meat, eggs, pork, and milk. Other commodities receive support if it is considered economically viable. All support services are being strengthened, particularly the HRD division. The organization and functions of DVS are constantly being viewed in accordance with changes in the animal industry and the nature of the services in demand. Next, we go to role of DVS. Number 1, all meat and meat-based products to be imported to Malaysia must be halal. For the purpose for the importation approval, JAKIM and Department of Veterinary Services Malaysia (DVS) will conduct inspection audit to the abattoirs and processing plants. JAKIM will inspect in terms of halal aspect and DVS will inspect in terms of animal health and food safety. Number 2, to control importation, exportation of animal produce and quarantine. As an example, when a meat from New Zealand is imported to Malaysia, JAKIM will make sure the meat is completely halal to bring in our country. Lastly, jurisdiction and prosecution. Number 1. Animals Control of Slaughter Rules 2009. In this act, they discuss about prohibition, application to be a registered user, renewal of certificate of registration, fees payable for service rendered, and many more. As example, I take Section 5, Clause 1 stated that except as provided for these rules, no person should slaughter or cause to be slaughtered any animals except an approved abattoir or licensed abattoir. Next, animals importation order 1962. So, as example, this when the meat is want to import to Malaysia, they will make sure that the meat is completely halal. So that's all from me. Thank you.